We are live. Hello, good evening. How are you?
All good here.
All good here. Well, yeah, sort of good here. We had a bit of a wildlife emergency, and I'm sure everybody is wondering what on earth it was, so I should tell you. I think it's magic at its very, very best, actually, because I went out today, and I don't normally go out on Wednesdays because I don't have to, and I like staying in. But I needed to go and get some more staples for my staple gun. So on the way back, it's only 10 minutes down the road or so. And on the way back, it's a route that I've driven hundreds and hundreds of times. And on the way back, I missed my turning. As I went sailing past my turning, I thought to myself, oh, well, that's a bit odd. I'll just keep going then because it will link up a little bit further up. And it was quite a nice drive. And then suddenly, in the middle of the road, I spotted a bird who had its wings down and was just standing there. And as I went past, he kind of walked, and I thought, oh, he's definitely in trouble. Hi, Redwing. And I thought, oh, he's definitely in trouble. So I stopped the car and then waved the oncoming traffic to the other side of the road as I was walking back. And it was a little woodpecker. And he saw me coming and started legging it. And it was then very obvious that he couldn't fly at all. So, so I managed to catch up with him eventually by walking quicker and quicker. As was he. But I've got longer legs than him, so I managed to catch him. And he was very vocal about me picking him up and sorting him out. And so I got him back in the car and had him in both hands. And then thought, well, I can't drive because I've got him in both hands. So we had a bit of a chat, and he pecked me a lot. And then he calmed down a bit, and I was talking to him very, very, very quietly and very close up to my face. At which point he reached out and went whang on my nose. So I've got this big peck mark across my nose. Luckily, I've got some makeup on, so you can't see it.
Oh dear.
A bit rude, really. Anyway, so I thought, well, I've got things in the boot, but I didn't really want to get out of the car again and then just be one-handed in case I either dropped him or hurt him. But luckily, I had 2 T-shirts on, so I thought, right, well, there we are. I'll just wrap him up in one of them. So with one hand, hi, hands. So with one hand, I managed to wangle my way out of my top layer T-shirt and then sort of grapple with him and get him all covered over, because obviously once they're in the dark, they calm right down. And then I put him in the baby seat and drove home. So when I got home, I thought, well, I better put him in a box. And as it happened, I had a delivery of gin today in a box, quite a large box. Not that much gin, but quite a large box. And so I thought, well, I'll put him in there. But I did take some pictures. I'll show you. And it's, I think, a lesser spotted woodpecker. There we are. And here he is. Now, let's see if I can get that in the right place. There. Look how sweet he is. Look. And as you can see, not wiggling at all.
Cute.
Very, very large beak. Anyway, so put him in the bathroom, and then I had the tap so it was just dripping very slowly. And then, hi, Chris. And then was holding him gently. Oh, you missed, Chris, you missed my little woodpecker that I rescued today. Now then, where are we? There he is. There, little woodpecker. So he had a bit of a drink from the dripping tap in the bathroom, and then I put him in the box so that I could phone the wildlife hospital, which I did. And they're over at Leatherhead, and they said, well, bring him over and we'll see to him. And sat-nav decided to be difficult, as sat-nav is. But eventually I found it, and I've got a call back in a couple of days' time, and they'll give me, yes, I think so. Yeah, lesser spotted, I think. So, yeah, they'll give me an update on him in a couple of days' time. But the nice part is that because he's an adult, they want to release him. Hopefully he'll get released. They want to release him where he was found. So I'll get to be part of his release. I'm really quite pleased about that, actually. So, yeah. So that's my good deed for the day. But as I say, to me, that's magic in its very, very best form, really, because, you know, I would never normally have gone that way. I wouldn't normally have gone out, let alone anything else. But it's like, oh, well, it's only 10 minutes up the road, you know, force yourself, woman. So I did. And then I missed the turning, and, of course, there he was. So, Yeah, and that's happened to me a few times actually, where I've ended up being in a place that I shouldn't have been and ended up rescuing wildlife of some description. And actually, one of my cats I rescued in exactly the same way about 25 years ago now. And that was exactly the same thing. About 3 o'clock in the morning, ended up being in totally the wrong place, but at the right time. And there she was in the middle of the road. And so I ended up rescuing my cat. That was Pebble. So yeah, so that's why we're late. So sincere apologies, but that's why. So I got home about 7:45. It's like, oh God, I'm going to have to eat my own foot. Oh no, I've got to have some baked beans. So
Yeah, better than your own food.
My left foot.
Your own foot is not vegan. Or is it?
Bit chewy, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what does Chris say here? Woodpecker is associated with wishes, luck, prosperity, spiritual healing, represent hard work, perseverance, strength, determination. Also among the most intelligent and smartest birds in the world. Well, he was definitely quite smart because he was listening and he did twig that he wasn't in danger, I think. I like to think so anyway. I think he twigged that he wasn't in danger and that that I was there to help him. So, yeah.
He just wanted to know what your nose tasted like. Maybe he thought he was tunnelling.
I don't know. It was like, oh, it was a real shock. Right on the end. Wank.
Oh dear.
Yeah. But they were really nice, as Chris says, they're fantastic there. And actually, I've not used that particular wildlife place before. But they were very good. I think it would normally be slightly different, but obviously with COVID regulations still in force in some places, there's no sort of going in and all the rest of it. But yeah, they were very, very good. But the worst part is that because my last name's Bird, as soon as I have found a bird, and then I've phoned over the years, phoned various things. It's like, can I have your name? Yes, it's Mrs. Don't laugh, Bird. And they're like, oh yeah, pull the other one. I'm like, no, really.
Yeah.
I remember years ago I had a homing pigeon suddenly come marching in my living room. And he did. He literally, I had the back door open. It was in the summer. I had the back door open. And he literally marched around my living room and just sort of stayed there. And I was like...
Bit of a crap homing pigeon.
Exactly. It was like, you're supposed to be here. Maybe he had problems with sat-nav, yeah. Anyway, so I sort of gave him various things to eat and some water and stuff. But he had absolutely no intention of going anywhere. So I phoned... It was a Sunday, so I phoned the RSPCA. They weren't interested. So I phoned the RSPB, who also weren't particularly interested. Is he injured? No. Oh, well, nothing we can do then. And it's like, but I don't know what to do with him. I don't know what they eat. What do I do with it? So I phoned the Racing Pigeon Association, who said, oh, he's just hungry. Give him some peanut butter and he'll be fine. So it's like, oh, okay. So he had that and lots of drinks. And the following morning, he marched out and off he went. So again, it was the same thing. Is as soon as you say what your name is, if you've got a surname of Bird, they think you're pulling their leg. So yeah, you do feel a bit of a fool, I must say. Oh dear, Mrs. Doolittle, says Hans. So there we go. Yeah. So, but he was sweet. He really was sweet. And actually, I was quite surprised how heavy he was. Because over the years, I've picked up quite a lot of birds, either because they're ones that have, been fatally brought in because of the cat, or ones that I've rescued and whatever. But he was, quite solid, because normally they're very, very light.
Maybe just eaten. Sort of grounded into, like the pigeons that can't get off the floor fast enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know, but he was really quite heavy. He was, quite substantial. It wasn't all just fluff and feathers. Do you know what I mean? He was, yeah, and part of my nose, actually. Yeah.
Well, yeah, plainly eating is high on his agenda.
That was definitely a get off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, so I've lit a candle for him for healing energies, because I thought that was appropriate. The funny thing is, actually, I made some new candles this afternoon. I've had a really busy day, actually. And I made some candles this afternoon. And I thought, well, I shall light one of those first candles, and I shall light it for him for some healing energy. So I've got that on the mantelpiece now. So, yeah. And I've got a bit of lavender essential oil in there as well for healing. So, yeah, hopefully he'll be all right. I do hope so. But of course, it's shock, isn't it? That's the trouble.
Yeah, that's what tends to do for a lot of these little creatures.
Yeah. So yeah, fingers crossed, and candle burning and all that. So hopefully he'll be all right. So anyway, so that's my most recent news. How about you?
Well, I can't really compete with that at all. I've had I would say a fairly mundane sort of a week, because it's September and we're in that back to school tomorrow, and
It's tomorrow.
Yeah, he goes back tomorrow, but we had to go in for a COVID test, and it's been a lot of running around this week trying to get things done and ready. Yeah, September for me is a very densely packed month. There's always too much going on to fit the space available, and things start clashing with each other because you've only got a tiny amount of space. Obviously, we have a little time away as well, which is lovely, but that sadly coincides with other things, and you can only be in one place at one time. I have not managed to get that bit of magic sorted. I cannot be in more than one place.
Wouldn't that be useful? Really, it would.
But problematic. It's causing problems already. So, yeah, I felt like my feet have been a bit nailed to the perch this week.
Yeah. Actually, I think other people struggle with September. I used to think it was just purely because of the school thing, because obviously kids go back to school, and with my tribe, it always seemed to be so much to do, and so, sort of little time to get it all sorted out. And it just, oh God, it used to do my head in, actually. But obviously I don't have kids of school age anymore, and it's still really bonkers month. So, yeah, I think it's just a month, actually. It just seems to be when everything seems to kick back off again. Everyone slows down for the summer, it seems, and then
you have to
whoosh,
gear up again.
we go again. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, I have things like trying to get to as many boot fairs as possible before they end. The son's birthday, trips away, other places I have to be, always seems to be September. So it is a bit mad. It feels a bit frenetic, and I could do without that, really. But you just got to roll with it and do what you can, and let go of what you can't do, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've got drumming on Saturday. I can't wait. So it's our first.
I can't.
It's our first gig after. Well, we did a sort of gig last year, because it was the 4th of July actually last year, and I've got a little fly. Go away. Yeah, we did it on the 4th of July, and we reopened a pub, because if you remember last year it was the 4th of July and all the pubs were open again.
Yeah, I remember that.
So we did that last year, but so it'll be the first gig since then, actually, and I'm really looking forward to it. So that'll be really good. What I'm not looking forward to is the early start. So we're starting drumming at 10. Early start. I'm not so good at them.
It's a bit early, isn't it, really?
Well, it is when it's quite a drive in the first place, yeah. I've got to leave about 9, and I'm not very good at that at all.
No, it's not how you normally want.
Really early. I can do that without a trouble. If I have to leave at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to go somewhere, work or whatever, that's fine. I can do that. But it's that middle thing. Anything between 6:30 and 11 o'clock, I really struggle with. It's ridiculous. Just born in the wrong continent, I think that's all it is.
Yeah, permanent jet lag.
Oh, I've just noticed what Chris has written. She says, try picking up a pigeon after it's gorged on rotten apples. They get drunk.
I've been riding on a pony that has gorged on apples like that and has got slightly pissed. It's quite an experience. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Basically cider.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's not so many apples about this year, definitely. Last year, that little orchard at the side of me was dropping apples every 10 seconds basically. So when you drove over it was like a permanent cider press, and you sort of had this noise as you were driving round. It was dreadful. This year there's none on the little pathway at all, and there's some that have dropped onto the grass below, but really it's only the odd one or two here and there. So yeah, there's not very many of them at all. We've got some pears, but hardly any apples. So yeah, pity.
I've got some this year on my tree, but my apples are a bit later. Excuse me, they're a little bit later, so they're not quite ready yet. They tend to be ready around the end of September.
Oh, are they?
And I think because they're slightly later ones, they survived a bit better, because of when we have that we've had it. To be fair, the weather's been absolutely awful this summer, and it's why a lot of people I'm speaking to, and I don't know if it's true of anyone out there, is really, really feeling the closing in of the light, because we had a few hot days, but we basically had a pretty wet and
it's been grey
down here. The light, we haven't had the light, and people are already starting to feel the effects of, oh God, winter's coming. We've only just come into September, but there's that sense that that's it, it's gone now, and hopefully it's not, but because we screwed up the weather so badly, this is what happens.
I know, it's a pain really, but it's as you say, it's like the grey days, we've not had the bright sunshine and stuff, and I'm a sufferer of SAD, seasonally affected disorder.
Me too.
And I've got various sort of light boxes and stuff around.
Vitamin D.
But I say normally in the summer it's fine, because I'm out in the garden as soon as I get up, and then sort of have a coffee out there. At least I'm, even if it's only 10 minutes, I sort of have that injection of it, if you like. But it's just, even when sitting out there, it's dark, and it's not supposed to be dark until 7:30, 8 o'clock, and yet it's 5 o'clock and it's dark because the sky's so dark and grey.
Yeah, and you can take the odd day like it, you can take a few days like it, but it feels like it's been like that all the way through August. Although the weather's not been atrocious, that's when we kind of expect to have summer.
Yeah,
at least
exactly. And
it just of it.
Yeah. As Chris says, not cold. A sky in the clouds weather. Yeah,
indeed. Yeah. In spite of my efforts, you can't go against an entire jet stream. It's just impossible. And it now I'm starting to get cross with it. I'm starting to get annoyed, because it's like, where the fuck was summer?
Yeah, exactly. What happened to it? Where's it gone? Maybe we'll have an Indian summer. That'd be nice.
This is what I'm hoping, but there's not too many signs of it. But I'll do my best.
Yeah.
So
we need some high pressure, really, don't we? And lots of it.
We've had high pressure. This is the weird thing. It's just the jet stream is in the wrong place. And that's a biggie. You can't, and that's because the whole world's weather systems have been fucked around with.
They really have.
Be well beyond my abilities.
Because there was a big hurricane, wasn't it, on the levels with Katrina in America. Was it yesterday or the day before?
They have had it, and it's because they have that, and it all goes that way. Then that causes a problem over our way. Whether we're connected, we are not disconnected from the rest of the world.
So we're expecting that at some point, aren't we?
No, we won't. We won't get it.
No, but we'll get the
but what we've had is the fact that the jet stream has been out of whack. But world weather patterns is an interesting area to study how it all works, but we have definitely mullered it.
It's not right. Definitely not right. So today actually I've sort of woke up, and again, very often I find with the wheel of the year, obviously you're talking about the people feeling things closing in. Very often I find that I'll do things and then I become aware of dates and stuff a bit later on. But I had this thing today, and it's like I need to clean this and wash that. So I was literally sort of doing the clean that I normally do at the beginning of autumn. And I normally do it at the end of September. And again, it's one of those things I don't consciously do. I just wake up and I feel compelled. I want to do this, and I wash all the cushion covers and the cushions, and
it's sort of the equinox feel. Because although we're not near equinox, we are not getting as much light. So we are literally recalibrating ourselves to go, oh well, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so, I sort of put on my 4th or 5th wash today in the washing machine. And I was like, what's the date? God, it's only the 1st of September. It's a bit early.
Yeah. Well, obviously, it would only take a couple more days of decent weather for everyone to suddenly click back into, oh, okay, we're not there yet.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I've got my thick woolly jumper on because I'm cold. And I don't normally feel the cold, but I do. I feel really chilly.
Yeah.
All that pecking.
Yes, exactly. Ooh.
But yeah, so that was, as I say, so it's really busy, and it's like I'm going to reupholster my chairs. I took all the cushion covers off and slung them all in the wash, and sort of normal scatter cushions and they've been in the wash too. Everything's been in the wash, and all the curtains and everything,
Wow.
all been in the wash. Which is why I went out, because I needed to go and get some staples. So it's still sitting there waiting to be stapled back together. But I think I might have to do that tomorrow now.
Yeah.
So it looks nice though. I'm quite pleased with it. It looks better than it did.
Well,
until the cats re-attack it, of course, because it was very, very frilly on one side.
shredded, I think is the word we were looking for there.
Completely shredded, yes, absolutely. Yeah. But as I say, it looks nice. It's just waiting to be sort of tacked in place rather than just sort of sitting there. It's kind of like, it's all poked in all the right places, but it's not attached yet. So it just needs properly attaching so that you can actually sit on it, which would be nice. If you sat on it now, you'd probably end up with this be like my t-shirt going over the little bird, actually. Straight over the top. Oh dear. So yeah, as I say, then I was making candles, and I've really been busy today, which is nice.
Busy.
Yeah, because I do suffer from inertia quite regularly. Very, very severe case of inertia. So yeah, it's quite nice when it does, actually kick in and I get on with things. I'm like, oh, I've done it. I've done a lot of gardening as well, and again, I find things, sort of tend to sort themselves out. But I had some vouchers that I needed to use by the end of August, and I thought, oh well, I'll go and get some plants and things for the garden then. So I did get some. And not only did I plant 35 plants, I planted 80 bulbs.
Ooh.
80
daffodils. Time would be right then.
Exactly. So, yes. So I felt quite pleased with myself, even though I was rather muddy. I did feel quite pleased with myself afterwards. It's like, yes, the job well done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny, isn't it? It just, you sort of get, taken by these things, and then, just sort of goes
get the urge.
Yeah,
I had a big gardening urge. Yeah, it was last week. I was saying, oh, I must do that, and then I went outside, and what I normally do is I will start doing something, and then it somehow snowballs into a massive operation.
Yeah. And I'll just do so and so, and then while you're at it, you see something else, and you think, well, actually, I can just do that too.
And I think, oh, I could do that. Oh, I'll do it now. And then think, why did I start this? Because my garden's quite overgrown, but I like overgrown. I think that's wild and magical and as it should be. But there's a point at which it becomes too bloody overgrown and actually needs a bit of a prune back. And then I have to sort of talk to the trees and go, look, I'm doing this for your own good. Please don't mind me. I'm not trying to kill you.
Exactly.
But you need a haircut, basically.
I saw a brilliant thing today, actually. It really, really made me laugh. It was one of my daughters tagged me in it. And it was just a meme on Facebook, but it really, really amused me. And it said, it was along the lines of, punk is always punk, no matter how old you are. When you're, it's like, here we go. So then it was, when you're in your teens, wearing black and wearing safety pins is definitely punk, because it annoys the authorities, or words to that effect. And then it says, and when you're in your 50s, leaving your garden so it's completely covered in dandelions because your landlord doesn't like it but the bees do is also punk. It's like, yes.
We are just punk. That's how it is.
It's like, yes, I'm so punk. I leave all the daffodils there, the dandelions there.
I leave the weeds for the bees.
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
There is, yes. Mine's on the border of jungle, but I call it rewilding because it's a time thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mine's kind of halfway between the two, really. Cottage garden is mine.
It's a punk garden. I've got a punk garden.
Punk garden. Definitely a punk garden. So mine's cottage garden, really, isn't it? But
Yes.
yeah.
So's mine, really, but it's very jungly because of the
Yeah.
lie of the land here.
But it's nice though, because you've got different heights and stuff, haven't you? You've got sort of things going up and, you know, got different layers and stuff. I think it's really nice.
Yeah, I'm going to make an effort to have an outside to have, because I've got this fire thing it's just like sort of crossed legs, and then you have like a net that goes on the top, a metal net, so you can burn wood on top of it and it won't harm any of the earth around. So you haven't got to make a fire pit.
Yeah.
And I'd like to have that in my grass circle so I can sit there and enjoy some fire this winter.
That's a good idea, because you were saying about possibly getting rid of your grass circle, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm not going to do anything. I haven't got the time. I'm not going to do it now, but I can still use the space if I get the grass trimmed down a bit and then just take it over and pop the little fire thing out there.
Yeah, no, good idea. Yeah, did you get that for your camper van?
Yes, yeah. They're very inexpensive. You can literally get them off eBay, or Amazon. But yeah, it was brilliant because we tried it when we were camping. So we're like, well, you can't have a fire, on the ground. It's like, that's okay because this is off the ground.
Kind of like a tripod thing, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's got 4 legs.
Oh, 4 legs.
They're kind of spread out, and then you hook the mesh, and it's literally about a foot square, or maybe a bit more.
Yeah.
And pop your wood on there, and the air gets to it more because it's off the ground.
Yeah, I was going to say it probably burns really well because you've got the air, really good airflow underneath, haven't you?
Yeah, and that helps. Yeah. So great idea. So I want that in the garden. I want to enjoy a bit of a fire.
Excellent.
We've got all the elements there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you've got water down at the bottom and that, haven't you? So.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the swimming snake again. Only saw it the one.
That was amazing.
But I noticed the kingfishers, they have a very high-pitched noise that they make. So they're very distinctive. So you know when one's in the area because it really has a very girly voice for a bird. A real girly squeal,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I had an owl. I've got just to the left, as I look out of the window, on the left of my bedroom window, I've got a trellis that's got clematis on it, and it's got a bit that sticks out at the top, and it only sticks out about 4 or 5 inches. It's just a bit that's kind of come adrift that needs putting back on again. And last night I was sitting here thinking, that owl is really loud. So I have a lot of owls here, as you know, and I was thinking, he's really, really loud. I stuck my head out the bedroom window, and there he was, and he was just literally sitting about three foot away from my nose. Back to the nose again. As I peered out the window, it was like, oh, but he had absolutely no intention of going anywhere. It's like, this is my perch, and I'm staying here. So, oh well, at least I know where he is. So yeah, he was there for ages, actually, about 20 minutes, oohing. So yeah, it was rather nice. But I couldn't work out why he was so loud and so close, because they come very close often, but not that close. But yeah, so literally there he was on my wall.
Lovely.
So, okay. So yeah, rather nice, really. They are noisy though, and of course then you always hear the other one calling back to them.
Yeah. Hello.
And then sometimes you get a third one that just kind of joins in the conversation, and the other two tend to be quite pippy about it.
Yeah, bring the crowd, clearly.
I wasn't talking to you. Oh, but no, we weren't talking to you.
Been a raspberry.
So yeah, brilliant, really. So yeah. I'm off to do some exploring on Friday.
Right.
Yeah, I'm quite excited actually, because I think I mentioned to you a few weeks ago about the dragon folklore that I discovered that's nearby. And so I want to do a ritual down, in these particular woods where there's this dragon folklore. But of course, what I don't want to do is just turn up on spec and then find that it's not very accessible, or parking's atrocious, or or whatever, or it's miles from where we park, because I've got some people that would like to come that are less able to walk so far than other people are. So obviously I want to sort of see what the lay of the land is and stuff. But yes, I'm doing that on Friday, so I'm really looking forward to that. So it'd be quite nice, and it's not an area that I'm familiar with at all. I've never ever been there. So so that should be really good. So I might even take some sandwiches with me. Have a picnic, a proper one.
Make a day of it.
Indeed, yeah. So I'll take some sandwiches and a thermos flask. You can't have a picnic without sandwiches and a thermos flask, just saying.
Indeed. It's
I don't
that's
consider
a sort
it
of
that.
a picnic.
Yeah, I don't consider it a picnic without either or.
Very old school.
Well, that's me all over, really, isn't it?
I was going to say without quiche and prosecco, it's not really a picnic, but that's just me.
I'm very middle class.
Sorry.
I was thinking Marmite sandwiches and a thermos of tea.
Different sorts of picnics.
Oh dear. That's not to say that I'm averse to a quiche.
No,
prosecco.
I'm not going to say no. I know.
Oh dear, yeah.
Nice
I'm
19 crimes and some hummus. That's it, isn't it? Job.
Oh God! Well, yeah. Now you're talking. Yeah, I'm coming on one of your picnics. I'm not going to leave my picnic behind. Yeah, if you're going to bring 19 crimes, the thermos is definitely redundant. Yeah, mind you, that's not so good if you've got to be driving anywhere, is it?
Exactly.
Because one glass of 19
well, you can stay over.
One glass of 19 crimes just isn't enough.
It's not going to happen, is it? That?
No, definitely not. Perhaps I will stick to the thermos after all.
Yeah, if you're driving, yes.
Yeah, if I'm driving, yeah, definitely. But I think that would be really nice, and it would be good to, sort of make a decision on where we'll do it, and sort of see what I don't know whether it's hilly or flat or anything. You see, that's the thing. I don't know. It could be that once you've left the car somewhere, you kind of have to scale the face of the Eiger. I don't know. I just don't know. It could be some kind of, quarry pit. I don't know. I just don't know. So,
yeah, and we do need to with people with mobility issues. And
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I'll have a bit of scoot about and see. And, just sort of have a little look around and see. And again, if it's, if there's inaccessible places and there's really only paths that are heavily used for dog walkers, again, that's not going to be particularly useful either, in which case going somewhere nearby would be better. Even if it's not quite the right place, it would still be better than the right place that's inappropriate. Do you know what I mean? So
absolutely, yeah.
It's a difficult call, that, I think. If you're trying to do something specifically for a certain place, like I am with that, because the actual place where the legend takes place is in St Leonard's Forest, which is between Pease Pottage and Horsham. But out of the foresty bit, the specific place where the legends occur is a place called the Lily Beds. And the legend is, if I've said it before, I apologise, but the legend is that St Leonard slew the dragon, but he wasn't that successful. And where St Leonard's blood landed on the ground, lily of the valley grew. So it's obviously a very, very, densely covered area of lily of the valley, which of course is lovely. It's a long time of year for that, of course, but But yeah, so obviously it's, that's why they call it the lily beds, and that's supposedly where it came through. But he didn't do a very good job of it, because that was 4th or 5th century, I think, or maybe 6th. Anyway, very early on. And there were sightings of this particular dragon in the 16th century, coming forward as late as 1912, I think it was the latest, sighting of something odd. So, yeah. So there we go. So that, it seemed a very, very appropriate place to go and have a poke about. Just saying.
definitely.
So yeah, but it could be that there's lots of places that just aren't accessible, and the rest of it's all footpaths. So go and have a look and see what we can do. But ideally, somewhere smack bang in the middle of the lily beds would be perfect, really. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
When you think of
excited.
dragons, how do you imagine dragons? Because you've got your Chinese type dragon, haven't you, which is essentially
Yeah.
long and skinny and sometimes has little wings, but mostly not. It's mostly sort of like legs and feet, isn't it? So it's more sort of circle.
Yeah, they're more. Yeah, they're more
Yeah.
circular in the way the head is very ornate. I mean, they're
Yeah.
very stylized, obviously.
Yeah.
I suppose when I think of a dragon, I think more of a functional kind of creature. It's probably something a bit more prehistoric looking. Sort of the cross between a bird and a lizard, with quite big wings. Because my common sense head tells me you need quite big wings to get off the ground if you're quite big.
Yeah. Because
You
my
know.
sort of shape is the kind of like Disney dragon shape. That's in my head. I think dragons, and that's the correct shape to me.
That's dragon shape. Yeah, I think it's like the way people imagine these sorts of creatures. Like a lot of other mythical creatures, it depends a lot on the story you kind of built around it for yourself. As some people think of them as being very friendly, others as very fierce, and they're meant to be symbols of power and all that sort of thing. So there's a lot going on with the dragon.
What about size? How big do you imagine them to be?
I do think of them as being quite large, not quite Game of Thrones large, but certainly a good, decent, chunky size, probably
So
dinosaur
bigger than
sized again.
you, or smaller than you, chicken sized, or tree sized?
I would say certainly a lot bigger than me. That's the way I feel about them. But then, I mean, maybe there are many different sorts of dragons. Maybe there are chicken-sized ones because of the dinosaur kind of connection. There could be all sorts of sizes. But I guess if I was to imagine one, I'd be thinking of something pretty hefty.
Yeah, yeah. I reckon there's small ones as well as big ones. I reckon.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be open to any kind of dragon experience.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm rather hoping that one will come and say hello.
That would be nice.
Not quite sure what we'll do with it. I'll have to talk to it very gently so it doesn't wriggle and pet me on the nose.
Exactly. You don't get pecked on the nose by a dragon, you'll get burnt. You'll have a cut nose.
Sunburn. Oh no, dragon burn.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. It's fascinating when you think about it though, and it's one of those things, and everyone's got a very slightly different idea, haven't they? And that's why I asked you, how do you see them? Because when I see the Chinese dragons, they don't look right to me at all.
No, they're very beautiful,
I'm not
but they're
dismissing
not.
them. To me, they just don't look right. Yeah, it's weird. I think you've frozen. Have I frozen? Or is it just you, Heather? Right, I'm waving. Those that are typing, can you type and tell me whether Heather's working or not, please? Or whether I'm working. Well, that's a bit strange. Well, while Heather's thinking about coming back in again, maybe you'd like to post on... Oh, she's gone. There we go. She'll be back in a minute. Yeah, I was just thinking, everyone's got a very slightly different idea of how they look. And it's just interesting to know because everyone does have a different idea. It's like, same with Nessie and things like that. Is Nessie around and so on? Is she a dragon or is she some kind of dinosaur or whatever? There you are.
I don't know what happened.
You froze, my love.
It kicked me out.
Yes, all that talk of dragons. That's what that was. Right, let's make it bigger again so I can see. Oh God, that was too big. There we go. Yeah. So Hans says all types of dragons exist, and Chris says Terry Pratchett's dragons enroll Errol the VTO dragon. VTO. What does VTOL stand for? Very.
It's going to be something silly, isn't it? If it's Terry Pratchett.
Of course it is, Terry Pratchett. Excellent. But I don't personally know what that stands for.
No, I don't remember. I have read a lot of Terry Pratchett in the past. Yeah. Thank you, Chris. Yes, back in the room.
Yeah, there she is. Hi, Maya. Yeah, Heather's frozen. Yeah, okay. Brilliant. Good. Yeah, so it's just interesting because everyone's got these different concepts, and it's the same when it comes to good old Nessie, isn't it? You know, sort of
similar thing.
It is a similar thing, and you've got so many people that have claimed to have seen something, and it's, I don't know, seems to be too many claims for it to be swept under the carpet almost.
Yeah, there's something going on, but whether it's on this dimension or whether it's something, an anomaly of some sort, who knows? But it's fascinating.
It is fascinating, isn't it?
Vertical takeoff and landing. That's what VTOL means.
Ah.
You get a dragon that doesn't need a runway. It just. I quite like the sound of that. That's quite nice. Takes up minimal space.
Yeah, excellent.
And then
I had that in a dream last week, actually. Vertical takeoff and landing. I had this. It was a really weird dream, and I can't remember all of it, but I do remember this one particular part. And I was on a parquet floor. Hello. There was a cat with a purpose.
A cat rather than a dragon there.
Yes. Yeah, I was on this parquet floor, and I started jumping, and then the floor sort of became almost like the waves on a sea. And I was just jumping higher and higher and higher. And eventually I did one particular jump, and I was like, there we go. And then I could fly. I don't normally do that. Normally I just fly the VTOL. But on this occasion, I did this strange jumping thing first on this parquet floor. What the rest of the dream was, no idea.
Fun, though.
It was really good fun. I was doing it for ages. The truth be known, I was probably visited by one or more of my cats who were doing some kind of weird, vigorous washing on the bed, which meant I was going like that.
Quite possibly. That sounds quite likely.
And we know who that was, don't we, Barney? Yes. She's just discovered my nice new material on my nicely covered chair.
That you haven't attached yet. She's going to shred it before you've even got it nailed to the perch. Lovely.
Yes. She's like, oh, it's furry. And she's like, oh.
Yeah.
Is that nice? Is it? Is that nice? I think that's quite nice, judging by the expression on its face.
Yeah.
She was rather pleased with herself now. She's discovered it, and that's that. Good. Oh dear. Right, what have we got here? Oh dear. There is a meditation you can do to find your own dragon, as they do come in different sizes, shapes, and colours. Well, perfect. Like the sound of that. And that's the sort of thing that I was going to do actually as part of this ritual as well. And then it's great to do, as then you can use them for your own magic in different realms. Excellent.
Yeah.
We're all like going in different. Excuse me. I ate my dinner too quick.
Baked beans on the repeat.
Yeah, exactly. Again. So, yeah. Excellent. Like the sound of that. Yeah. No, I've got quite a few ideas for this particular ritual. I think it'd be rather nice. So yeah, sort of traveling to meet your dragon is kind of what I was thinking of doing. As part of the ritual, and sort of just journeying basically to go and meet. So you might sort of sit under a tree root and have a cup of tea from a thermos flask with a Marmite sandwich, or you could be invited to something with cutlery, quiche, and 19 crimes. You just don't know, do you? no, my luck. My dragon will be wearing a flat cap and he'll be wearing a flat cap, and I'll have to stick to my sandwiches.
Oh dear.
So there we are. Yeah. So, but I think it'll be nice. It just, I don't know, it's again one of those things. You sort of think, well, you hope people will get something good from it, but it's you can only put in as much as you can, and then it's down to everybody else to put their own slants on things too, isn't it? And that's
Yeah.
the thing. That's what you hope for. So
You can only lead people in the general direction. Where they choose to take it and how they work with it is up to them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Got a Hattie in now. Hello.
Oh,
Drugging around his dish too.
dish dance?
No, he tends not to do the dish dance. That's Bert's department.
Ah.
Yeah. Don't know where he is. Practicing his dish dance outside, probably. Oh, he was interested when I brought that woodpecker in.
Oh, I bet. He thought, hello.
Yeah.
Uber Eats.
Well, thank you very much. I'm sick to death of those pouches of tuna.
Deliveroo. Yum, yum.
Yeah. In a box, yeah.
Kept nice and warm in a t-shirt. Sorry.
Absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, and he was. Of course, on one side of the bathroom door, trying to encourage this poor little bird to have a few sips of water. And Bert's the other side. You can hear him going underneath the crack in the door. It's like, not now, Bert, no. It's not for you. No. It's not a light snack for the afternoon. No.
Yeah.
Definitely not. So, yeah. Did you have to get lots and lots of school trousers for Alex in various different longer sizes?
Well, the funny thing is, this is the last year he has to wear his blazer and that. Apparently, when they hit I was going to say the fifth form, but it's not. It's year 11. They're allowed to wear a suit, so that's going to be fun. Try and find a suit to fit.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah, very smart. So I'm trying to revitalise his blazer so it will last him another year. So a lot of Febreze was involved, debobbling, and the fact that the sleeves are a bit, but then the shoulders are, so there's no point getting a bigger size. It's just silly. So I said, no, stick with that one while you can. If you desperately need one, I get one off the second-hand shop,
Yeah.
But the trousers, no, he's got a couple of pairs, but I do need to get him some more stuff. But I try not to do it immediately. I'll leave it in a few weeks and then buy it, because obviously everything at the moment has been bought out.
Yeah, exactly.
You need 16-year-old trousers, tall, skinny version.
Yeah.
Because he's in 15 now, and they must be. I'll have a look tomorrow morning and see how much of a row they'll have had with these ankles.
I remember, what was his name? Eddie Izzard, and he was talking about trousers that were too short, and it's one of those phrases that sticks in my mind. And it was, put jam on your shoes and invite your trousers to tea.
I love Eddie Izzard.
He's great, isn't he? Yeah. I always felt he sold himself a bit short when he kind of disappeared off to America and was in various drama things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean he is a good actor, but I think it kind of diluted his message a bit. Yes.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, it's just, I get, of course, you're going to go where the money is and where the work is, and I get that.
It's not like anyone can do that, whereas Eddie Izzard's talent is quite unusual.
Yeah, he's just rather unique, isn't he?
Yeah. We all want more.
Yeah, more and more and more of Eddie Izzard. I think he's brilliant. I love him. So, he's a very unusual chap. So, what does Chris say? Have you heard of Kieran Morgan? Works with Dragon Energy and the Violet Flame. I've heard of the Violet Flame, but I haven't heard of Kieran Morgan. I'll have to look him up. Yeah, thanks for that, Chris. Yeah, I'll look him up and see if he's got some useful tips on how to call dragons in the middle of a lily patch. Yeah. That's what I'll do, I think. Right, well, I know we've not quite done our hour yet, but it has gone 9 o'clock. So I'm going to say cheerio and thank you very much. And we'll see you same time next week, I think.
We should do, yes. I think we're about.
Yes.
Sorry, my phone's up here.
Is that
Having a
you?
moment. I
Is that
think my
you?
phone just pinged, yes.
Yeah. Boop, boop. Right, me and my pecked nose are going to sign off. And yes, so we'll see you same time, same place.
Indeed.
Yeah. Oh, Leafville, that's near where I am. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Brilliant. Oh, thank you. Right, I should definitely look that up in a moment. Right, thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
Well,
Awkward wave. Here we go. Cheerio.